Welcome to eSonMicro-LAB. This is Part 5, C# Namespaces. In this tutorial, we will review namespaces, Alias Qualifier, and using Alias Directive. Please don't forget to subscribe and click on the notifications. Please let me know in the comment section any feedback you may have. Your opinion is very much appreciated. Namespaces. In C#, we use namespaces to better organize our code and prevent name conflict. Namespaces are used very heavily while developing code in C#. Within .NET development environment, many functionalities for code development are organized utilizing namespace. For example, we should be familiar with the following statement: system.console.writeline hello world. Examining the statement above, system is a valid C# identifier and it is indicating a namespace, and console is a class in system namespace. According to Microsoft, namespaces are described as following. They organize large code projects. They are delimited by using the dot operator. The using directive obviates the requirement to specify the name of the namespace for every class. The global namespace is the root namespace and always refer to the .NET system namespace. When using a namespace, we use the keyword using at the beginning of our program, indicating the usage of a given namespace. Now, time to see some examples. So let's switch to Visual Studios. By now, we should be familiar with this statement right here, console.writeline hello world. So if we go ahead and highlight console and we go to the definition, we can tell that console is a class within system namespace. So if you comment out the using statement, right away we get an error, and the error indicates that the name console does not exist in the current context. So what we could do to fix it is system.console. Now everything looks fine. So what we've done, we are using the fully qualified name here. So let's go ahead and run our application to just see what happens, and the results are as expected, hello world. So in this example, we'll create our own namespace. Let's say that we have a company, my company, and we have two departments. We have development department and we have test department. So first we need to undo this one right here and also remove system dot, and next create namespace my company, namespace my company, and within that namespace dev department, and let's go ahead and create a class dev team, and within dev team class let's create a method public static void count members. So within this method, console.writeline dev department employees count is 100. So let's copy all of this, paste it at the end, and let's make some modification to this. So this would be our test department, and we can change dev team to test team. So let's go ahead and change this one. This would be the test department employee count. All right. So back to our main, what we need to do, we need to include our namespaces here using my company dot dev department. Similarly, using my company dot test department, and in our main dev team dot count members and test team dot count members. So let's go ahead and run our application. So there you go. Dev department employees count is 100. Test department employees count is 100. We can go ahead and just comment this out. We don't need that. So basically what we've done, we've created a namespace, my company, and we have two classes, test team, and we also have the dev team. So if we don't using namespace here, so we're already getting errors here. So what we could do, just copy this one, and we can paste it here. And similarly, we can copy our test department, and we can paste it here. And we are using fully qualified name for our methods. And let's go ahead and run our application. So as you can see, the results are as expected. Dev department employees count is 100. Test department employees count is 100. So the process works as expected. Namespace alias qualifier and the using keyword. The using directive enables developers to utilize types within a namespace without specifying the fully qualified namespace of the type. The using alias directive syntax requires the using keyword followed by the equal sign. We import namespaces by utilizing the keyword using, providing scope, definition, create an alias for long namespaces, and while providing a solution for ambiguous definitions of classes. Now, let's go to Visual Studios to see some examples. So continuing with our previous example, here we're using a fully qualified name for our classes, dev team and test team. Often it's very possible that when we deal with large applications, first we may have just too many namespaces listed here for one, and it becomes a little bit difficult to associate a method or a class to a given namespace. So that's one problem. And another problem that we may encounter is that sometimes classes within namespaces may share the same name. And if we really don't use the fully qualified name here, then the compiler may encounter some kind of name problem, and that will become an issue. So let's take a look at an example. Let's change dev team to org1, and let's copy this one and paste it here. So now the test department and the dev department both have classes with the same name. So let's change this one. Similarly, change this one. Since we are using the fully qualified name here, let's run our application and see the results. So the results are as expected, no changes really whatsoever. But what happens that if we undo comments here, and then if we remove the description here and also remove the description here. Now what's happening is that the compiler does not understand org1 belongs to which of the classes, or whether org1 belongs to what department, and the error indicates that org1 is an ambiguous reference between mycompany.devdepartment.org1 and mycompany.testdepartment.org1. So we have two options to deal with this. One is to, whenever we use these classes, we need to include the namespace. Similarly with the test department. So now if we run our application, results are the same as expected. So if you really don't want to use the fully qualified name, and if we use these classes often and we just don't want to use the fully qualified name, what we can do is to create name aliases for our namespaces. For example, dev department is equal to, and similarly test department is equal to. Now what we can do is to just copy these name aliases and replace it with the fully qualified description here. And similarly, let's copy test department and replace it with this description here. Now let's go ahead and run our application. So as you can see, the results are as expected, no change. So what we've done here, we've created name aliases, and this can prevent name conflict if we have classes that share the same name. This is the end of this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe and click on the notifications. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.